Hi YouTube. A couple of weeks ago I did a video about cult products where I don't understand quite how they have become so cult in the sense of talked about and almost universally recommended as the best product in a range, either on these YouTube videos or beauty blogs or just generally. And I thought I would do the kind of opposite of that, the correlation, if you like, those cult products or products where there is certainly a lot of buzz about them consistently in beauty talk circles, which I totally understand and agree with. And so I thought that's what I would do inevitably. They're not necessarily the only products that I really, really rate, but they're ones where there has been a lot of publicity. I've gone out and got them or had them already, and I totally agree. So one of the kind of oldest cult products that I can remember people talking about, even though it's not mentioned as much these days, and some people even say they're kind of over it, is the Stila eyeshadow shade in Kitten, which I have the original powder that I bought in a very old palette. I can't remember when I got this. I think it might be, more than about 12, 15 years ago, to be honest. It certainly seems like that. And I have replaced the pan of Kitten, which is the one up here, because it's one of those shades that I do just come back to again and again as a highlighter or definition in the middle or corner of my eye. I just think it's a universally flattering and uplifting shade. It's a beautiful consistency, very fine with an excellent payoff. My lighting's not too good today, but even though, and you can see it there really shining away, even though there is more talk these days of MAC eyeshadows like All That Glitters, Brulee, and those sorts of colours that are very popular, I still think Kitten is the one to beat. And Stila eyeshadows are still pretty good. I do love their little fun palettes. The size is now much smaller than this one that I got so long ago. But they're really great for soft highlighting colours in particular, but neutrals as well. And they put together really nice fun kits for, a reasonable sort of price. And Kitten, of course, they have moved into all sorts of other products. I haven't bought it in the lip or cheek products, although I've been tempted with the kind of cheek highlighter kind of NARS multiple rip-off in Stila. But I did buy a smudge pot a couple of years ago when I was in I think New York on holiday, and I've used that quite a lot. And again, it's just a really useful shade and a useful formulation to pull out when I'm in a bit of a rush and just smooth over the whole eye and brow area and slap on some mascara and you're good to go. So Kitten, totally understand. It's a fantastic shade. And equally, more kind of up-to-date in the cult products is the Urban Decay Naked palettes. This is Naked 2. I was quite late on the Naked bandwagon, and I only bought this a couple of months ago. I ummed and ahed between 1 and 2, eventually went for 2. I liked both of them. But 2 just seemed a bit more practical to me. The palette, more than anything, swung it because it's a lot more robust than the kind of flocked cardboard one. I can totally understand why this is a cult product. There are better quality eyeshadows out there, but not much better for a lot more money. There are similar ranges and consistencies. A lot of these shades are very like the MAC shades, which are also so popular. But as a value palette, conveniently grouped together with a reasonably decent double-ended brush, which is okay for applying. Well, better than okay. It's pretty good, to be honest, given this is a kind of travel-sized palette. you just can't beat this for value. About £30. You know, you'd be getting only a couple of MAC eyeshadows for that. And this is a really good selection of colours that everybody is going to find at least 3 or 4 shades that they use all the time. I love Pistol, I love Verve, I use those a lot, and use these, you know, sort of honey-coloured neutrals at this end just all the time. But Tease is a great matte neutral as well. So I totally understand why this is such a popular palette, and I do use it a lot. Going to the more expensive, well, now I perhaps should just deal with the MAC Skin Finish, because again, this is a really popular product. I love powders and particularly highlighting products, whether they're powders, liquid, cream, whatever, to give luminosity to the skin and a great finish, particularly as I'm, you know, an older punter and I need that help with my skin, although it's in pretty good condition for my age. It's not luminous anymore. And these mineralised skin finishes are just great. They do give you a great glow. They're easy to apply. They're well packaged. Obviously, they don't come with a brush, but you can use it with whatever brush you've got. And I use this a lot. This one, I've got several. This is Soft and Gentle, and it's a great natural, glowy sort of colour for my skin. So totally understand why they're so popular. Higher end products, Chanel wins in a lot of categories, and it's a winner for me. I like nearly all of their makeup. I'm not a particular fan of their eyeshadows compared with some other high-end brands, but their foundations are fantastic. Vita Lumiere is kind of universally praised. It makes most beauty editors top 5 foundations consistently, and I think it's pretty faultless. You know, what's not to love? The packaging is great, the consistency is great. They could offer more shades. You know, I travel quite a lot, and it's interesting how internationally the shades on offer really vary. The Americans seem to get the best selection, to be honest, which is very odd given it's a French brand. But you know, maybe that's just me. And but you know, that's a minor fault. You can find something to suit you, I think, in most countries. And the staying power of this, the ease of application, you know, everything is there. It's not this season my absolute favourite. I have been loving Burberry's foundation, but Chanel has been in my beauty box for years. Vita Lumiere for probably 3 or 4 years now. I repurchase, and I can see me repurchasing again. So definitely an understandable cult. And their nail polishes as well. I'm a great fan of nail polish. I buy a lot of different brands, different prices, different colours. But overall, Chanel is just hard to beat. And I know that every season I look at their colours and I end up buying most, if not all of them. Rouge Noir has been on the market now since the 90s, certainly since Uma Thurman wore it in Pulp Fiction. For you youngsters out there, that's kind of a historical film now, but it caused a sensation at the time. It was almost impossible to get Rouge Noir for about a year. You know, you had to order it from abroad. It was called Vamp in the United States when it was launched, Rouge Noir here in Europe. This is probably my 4th or 5th bottle, fairly newly purchased. It is just the greatest dark red. It's looking more black than red there. I think it suits everyone. It looks really cool on short nails. And all Chanel polishes, although expensive, I think are pretty easy to apply if you're an amateur. Most polishes can be well applied by a manicurist, but can be tricky if they're too opaque or streaky, or just generally runny, difficult to apply, or even too thick. Chanel seems to get it right for the home market. They're beautifully packaged. They last reasonably well 5 to 6 days for me. I don't do a lot of housework, to be fair, but I do use keyboards a lot. And Rouge Noir, just one of the classics. Here's one of the more recent cult shades, Peridot. And it's just, there are lots of metallics out there, but this one has a depth of colour and originality that just doesn't seem to be equalled or not equally consistently by all the other brands. It's just beautiful. One of my favourites of the last couple of seasons, Black Pearl. Again, there are lots of metallic pearl in dark shades, but this one is astonishing because although it's called Black Pearl, in different lights, it can look green, it can look blue, it can look petrol-y. It's just an amazing formulation. What else? NARS, another high-end brand. This I'm showing because it kind of hits two notes of cult favourites. It's a multiple, and it's in the famous Orgasm, one of the most universally flattering shades for blush. I do have the powder blush as well, but I prefer it in this formulation. This is the multiple, which is designed for use on cheeks, highlighting. You can even use it on your lips or brow bone if you like. And it's just a wonderful creamy formula. They do eventually dry out, in my experience, before you can use them up because they last for absolutely ages, although they're quite expensive. I've had this probably a couple of years and it's still, got a long way to go. They are well packaged, they're easy to apply, they're a beautiful consistency, they have a great range of shades. I went to look at their latest Undressed in the fall collection. It's a bit too light and glittery for me, but they're great. And Orgasm is just the most fantastic colour. I understand why it's a cult. And then finally, a makeup remover, French Bioderma Creolin H2O. I think it's now being marketed as Sensibo, I think, rather than Bioderma, but I don't know if you can get it directly in the United States yet. You can certainly get it on the internet, and it's certainly stocked in all French chemists, in fact, and supermarkets now, rather than the beauty counters in upmarket stores. It's relatively cheap. This is about 10 quid for a big bottle. I buy mine on the internet. It's a water-based, hypoallergenic makeup remover. I can remember reading about it years ago that Kate Moss used it, that all the models used it, that it was gentle on the skin if you had to repeatedly remove makeup as they do, and all of that is true. I have sensitive skin. It has never caused a problem. I come back to it again and again. I get through bottle after bottle. It really can dissolve all but the most stubborn of waterproof mascara. So you can use it without any other makeup remover, although I do tend to, if I'm wearing heavy makeup, use a cream remover first and then use this a bit like you might use a skin freshener or toner afterwards. But you absolutely can use it as your main makeup remover and it will work. It's unscented. It's just the best, I think. I absolutely understand why it is a cult product and why for so long the French kept it to themselves. But now we can all enjoy it, and it's still relatively reasonably priced, certainly compared with all the high-end brands who do similar types of makeup removers, water-based rather than oil-based liquid removers. So that's my selection of cult products I absolutely understand, and thanks for listening in. See you soon. Bye.